Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me yet again. I'm super excited to have you all back and chilling with me. This week, we're going to go over 3 basic photography tips. And I say basic, but they're actually like fundamental photography tips and tricks. I still use them in my everyday practice, especially when I'm using my cell phone. Just because I want to put that extra work into getting the photo right the first time around, because phone photos aren't always easy to edit as drastically as photos that you take on your camera. Regardless of what you're doing or using, whether it be a DSLR, a mirrorless, or a cell phone, tablet, whatever it might be, Polaroid, they all count. These fundamental aspects of photography will come into handy. So let's get into it. The first one I want to go over is the rule of thirds. So the rule of thirds is how you are setting up your photo, so the composition of the photo. And the way it works is you're going to cut your photo into 9 pieces. So you'll have 2 lines in the middle and then 2 lines on either side. That way you have 9 different boxes to choose from. And the goal is to line up your subject on one of those third lines and not in the middle. That being said, center photos do have a time and place. Rules in photography are meant to be broken, but in the terms of rule of thirds, it's a great place to start in learning how to composite your photos and how you want to set them up. So having the rule of thirds in a everyday practice, especially when you're going out with your camera or your phone or whatever, it's good to try and learn, because it'll help your eye train itself to figure out more photos and what photos you like and how you like to frame them, and you'll start to learn your style a little bit more regardless of what you're photographing. So regardless of what your subject is, try and line it up on one of those lines. That way you have something that you're going to lean towards rather than it just being straight on. It'll make a more in-depth photo. So that's the rule of thirds. The next one I want to talk about is leading lines. So if you are taking photos on a set of train tracks, for example, or on the side of the road with a guardrail, you can use that guardrail as a way to lead the eye towards your subject, right? Or you can use the train tracks as a way to lead the eye to where you're going. Leading lines are fantastic ways to just bring the whole photo together, especially in framing, and just completes it. And as you can see in this demonstration here, I use leading lines as a way to bring your eye to the top third of the photo, because rule of thirds, and you can see that my subject is there, and it just kind of works. So playing with leading lines and rule of thirds, they go hand in hand, and it's 2 key parts of framing in photography. Like I said earlier, rules are meant to be broken, so don't be afraid to try everything. But these are simple techniques to help you frame your photo and to learn what makes a good photo. The third one that I want to talk about is different angles. So getting high above, getting down below, shooting from behind something, shooting through the trees, shooting from the ground up. I'm a big fan of just laying on the ground and shooting upwards and trying to get the foreground in there as a way to just add some depth into the photo. So trying different angles is huge. It's just super easy to climb a tree or stand on top of a chair or sit on the hood of your car just to get something different. Shoot from out of a window, all of those types of things, top of monkey bars, down a slide, laying on the ground, crouching, kneeling. Try and just shoot from different angles and figure out what you like the most for what you're trying to photograph, right? So when you shoot from high above, it's going to make an object look smaller and bigger. When you shoot from down below, it's going to make an object look taller and smaller, or thinner, sorry. So keep that in mind, and that will help play into the composition of what you're photographing, depending on what it might be. So those are my top 3 fundamental rules that I wanted to share with you. Now these are rules that are world known. They're fantastic ways to start framing your photos and really getting in. So have some fun with them, fool around with them, see what you can come up with, and we'll go from there. Milo and I want to say goodbye for now. Right, Milo? He decided to come in at the last moment, so you get to say goodbye. Goodbye, friends.